So the wind whipping around. We expect gusts 15, maybe even as the game goes along, even hardier than that, 20-mile-an-hour wind gust perhaps throughout our night. We are underway here from Winston-Salem, a couple hours earlier than we thought we would be. Wake Forest won the toss. They deferred on a nice kick return for Boston College. They will start with great field position. Michael Walker gets the Eagles very close to midfield. So a heck of a start for BC. Their offense has been totally transformed since they essentially gave the starting job to AJ Dillon.
And it's impactful everywhere. They've changed the scheme, the personnel that they play with, and they use a lot of tempo to wear teams down.
It's a rare team that will tempo with power football. Quarterback under center, a lot of tight ends on the field, and yet they go fast. Steve Adazio's team has been a really powerful offensive one since AJ Dillon took over. He'll get the ball right away at the start of this one. One theme for tonight will be how hard he is to get to the turf. He took a big hit. I thought the ball maybe even started to move a little bit, but he hangs on and gets a nice first down gain.
It's going to be interesting. All these Wake Forest coaches stressed how important tackling is.
Tackling AJ Dillon, not an easy task. That's how you do it. They stacked him up for no gain. And Cameron Glenn is back on the field, number 2. Cameron Glenn has one of the jobs for the Demon Deacons of trying to get the opposite number 2. Cameron Glenn has missed some time. He was their leading tackler last year. They're happy to have him back here tonight. So an immediate third down for the Eagles. Anthony Brown, their sophomore quarterback, gives it to AJ Dillon, who bursts through. There goes Dillon. And despite his size, he is hard to catch inside the 10. Dives for the end zone, touchdown. And right away we see that tremendous ability, 45 yards. The Eagles are on the board first.
It happens quick, Dave. And one of the things that stresses defenses with this BC offense is their multiple formations. Guys can pull, get on the edge, and when Dillon gets going, you're not going to catch him.
I mean, that is part of what makes him unique. He is 245 pounds, and yet he can really move. Extra point is up, and it is good. So Boston College, great kick return to begin the game, and then on third down, AJ Dillon is just a tremendous talent in the backfield. Took it almost 45 yards to the end zone.
And it's just 2 pullers getting on the edge, and the hole is huge. And like I said, getting AJ Dillon running away from people, you're not going to catch him. This is real speed at 245 pounds. That's one of the things that makes this kid so special.
Well, this is a team sport, right? College football. It takes a lot of players to make a team successful. It's hard to remember one player having as big of an impact as this kid has had on his program. Last year, Boston College early in the year struggling on offense. This Wake Forest team went up to Boston and beat the Eagles 34-10 early in the year when Dillon wasn't getting a lot of carries. And it's going to be a whole different task here tonight for the Demon Deacons.
And usually it's a quarterback, right? It's a quarterback that changes your program. Boston College lucky to have AJ Dillon doing it at the running back spot.
Inside collegiate, committed early to Wake Forest. He is here as a true freshman and has had a spectacular start. A few freshman mistakes, but a lot of big plays for number 10 in this Wake Forest offense. The handoff on first down. Matt Colburn, a senior running back, can be a weapon in the backfield, but I think this game is going to come down to the right arm of Sam Hartman.
He's been a lot of fun to watch on tape. Gets the ball out quickly in the passing game. He's tough. They ask a lot out of him. And Dave Clawson, his head coach, loves him. Said the kid shows up every single day.
In this offense, the quarterback has to be able to run the ball. Well, maybe not as much as certain offenses around the country, but Sam Hartman's got to be able to move the ball on the ground. A 3rd and 2 right away, and whistles. There was a penalty thrown. So the flag is down. We'll see who it's against. Came from way behind the play.
There's no foul for illegal substitution. It's 3rd down.
Okay, so that play stopped. Dave Clawson not happy about that. I think he felt like his offense was in the right play to get a first down.
And that's going to be a big deal for this Wake Forest offense on third down tonight, is playing with that tempo, because Boston College likes to get exotic front-wise, blitz-wise. And Warren Ruggiero believes that that tempo is going to allow them to benefit from it.
They try to get lined up before the defense can get lined up properly. So third down with some pressure coming. Hartman off and running. Hartman takes a big hit but gets the first down. So the true freshman will move the chains for Wake Forest. He is a tough kid. One of the things that stood out to us yesterday, talking to a bunch of his teammates, was how much they love him and his competitiveness.
And you can't fake that. That's an example of it on third down right there. Tough to go get his first down for his offense.
A good delivery to his star wideout, 5'9", 170 sophomore Greg Dortch, who gets targeted about as much as any receiver in college football. They will throw him the ball a lot tonight. You see the quick tempo from midfield, pressure coming, and the throw on the move is incomplete.
We talked about Sam Hartman and some of those freshman mistakes. That's a really good play. Growth right there. You're going on a good little drive. Live to fight another down. Get to second down. Good throwaway.
And that's what his head coach is looking for. Eliminate the turnovers. That's been the negative from the first 2 weeks. More pressure from BC. This throw was completed. Scooped up before it hit the turf by Stephen Claude, a junior wide receiver. Did he catch it? I don't know. But they get the play snapped, so the play's going to count. That's a break, I think, for Wake. Right into traffic. Dortch. Was it ripped away? It was. That is a turnover. Intercepted by Boston College. Will Harris just ripped it away. So we thought Wake got the break because maybe that pass was not a completion. They rushed to the line, got the ball snapped, threw it quickly, and then this happened.
Will Harris just playing kind of quarter safety right on that hash. Drives that ball strong enough to whip it away from Dortch.
Dortch had it, and Harris just ripped it away. BC with a great start, leading by a touchdown. Our wide receiver. They took a look at it in the replay booth and confirmed the call on the field. It was a good interception. So now the Boston College offense back on the field with AJ Dillon alongside Anthony Brown, who's going to throw the ball for the first time tonight. He throws across the middle into some traffic, but a completion to Tommy Sweeney, the tight end, who's a very good player for BC. Has not been much involved in the first 2 weeks. Of course, a lot of the top line players for BC have not been involved. BC played UMass and Holy Cross and just steamrolled both of them, and not a lot of snaps for their top line players. AJ Dillon clearly didn't need a lot of snaps to get ready for this game. He is on fire early. Let's go downstairs to Paul Carcaterra.
Field level, gentlemen. AJ Dillon is an absolute specimen, and it's interesting. Steve Adazio told us last night that Earl Campbell reached out to him, wants to speak to number 2 in white.
You can kind of see why. There is a resemblance. That throw knocked away incomplete on 1st and 10, intended for Jeff Smith. Well, Anthony Brown, you figure over the year, Dan, is going to be tested. Whether you can stop AJ Dillon, but teams are going to load up to try to slow him down at least and try to make Anthony Brown the guy who wins games. That's a great tackle behind the line of scrimmage by Zeke Rodney, the senior defensive lineman for Wake Forest. 3rd down.
Anthony Brown's going to get tested right now. And the thing that is a good fit for him in this offense, they love to run the ball. He's at his best on the move. Now we'll see if Sawvell wants to pressure him here. Remember, he hasn't played a ton this year. He's coming off that ACL injury. Test him with some pressure.
He has not needed to use that athleticism much this year, but that is a question looming over BC. How healthy is the knee? Cost him the end of last year. Play clock starting to wind down on 3rd and 11 from right around midfield. Brown will hand it off to AJ Dillon. So on 3rd and long, Wake was ready for that. Not surprised. It'll be 4th down, and presumably Boston College is going to punt the ball away.
Certainly an interesting play call there. You know, they probably want to play a little caution in this game. How's Wake Forest going to come after us and our quarterback early on in 3rd down? They trust their defense is going to play really well.
So Grant Carlson, the sophomore punter, with Greg Dortch, who was coming off a game hard to be better as a punt returner last week. He returned 2 for touchdowns. Now a penalty flag thrown.
Snap infraction. Number 46, offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, BC might not mind that too much. Maybe give a little extra room for Grant Carlson, the punter. Much better defensive effort from Wake Forest. Second time BC had the ball. So Dortch, who's so dangerous back there. Angled punt toward the sideline. He will field it basically out of bounds. So the Demon Deacons will have the ball when we come back. Hoping a lot of buzz. People talking about the Heisman Trophy, sleeper champion candidate in the ACC. This would be a major win for Wake Forest against BC. And if they come up with a victory, I think the students are going to find a way to celebrate. Now, that toilet paper might not last too long with the storm coming. They do expect maybe not danger from the storm, but a lot of rain is going to fall over the next few days here in Winston-Salem. As of right now, skies are mostly clear. It's actually a beautiful night for college football. And we're thinking about everybody in the Carolinas getting ready for the full impact of this storm, but so far so good here. Wake Forest on the move, some quick hitters, the tempo. Colburn, who can catch the ball out of the backfield. It'll be 2nd down and short.
We see a bunch of tempo out of Wake, and they're really using it to close that talent gap. They believe it gives them an advantage.
Now BC does have some big, strong dudes on defense. They're ready for that handoff. 2nd and very short. I don't know that Wake Forest, they did get it just barely. Connor Strahan and then Zach Allen, number 2, who is going to be a high pick for the NFL after this year. Came back for his senior season. Definitely one of the leaders, and a pressure off the edge, but Hartman got away. That at least saves the loss. The big block behind the play. No flag thrown. Actually gained a couple yards. How about that block from Scotty Washington? Wow.
Strahan's going to get him back for that at some point this game. Defensive guys do not like that.
Well, Scotty Washington, who's a big target, has been hurt a lot. He is back healthy for this game. The whistle blows. That was an incomplete pass, not a fumble. Well, Scotty Washington, the junior, 6'5", 225. And I don't know whether that was a targeting or not. Scotty Washington should have caught that ball. He dropped it. That would have been a 1st down. Instead, Wake's going to have to punt the ball. That should have been a 1st down and more.
And if you're Wake trying to win this game, 3rd downs are going to be a huge thing for you to convert. So right now we've got a turnover early on, a drop 3rd down play. Dave Clawson told us they've got to play really well. Right now, hurting themselves a little bit.
A turnover on a ball that was delivered by the quarterback, and then another good pass from the true freshman Sam Hartman, not handled. Wake, I think, feels like their wide receiver corps might be the most talented part of their entire team. Has not quite played like it so far early in this one. So the fair catch after a good punt. Everybody in the state of North Carolina, all across this region. This game moved up a couple hours, so a very unusual Thursday kickoff time. Fans starting to file in. BC got off to the very quick start with AJ Dillon, a long touchdown run. First time the Eagles had the ball. Since then, the defense has tightened up for the Demon Deacons at 2nd and 10.
They've done a nice job in the past 2 drives of getting some penetration, and that's one of the big things you can do against BC. Get some penetration, make Dillon move in the backfield.
Walker comes in motion. Anthony Brown from the shotgun, going to throw quickly. That's incomplete. Way too strong. Intended for C.J. Lewis. It's 3rd down.
Anthony Brown coming off that ACL. One of the things he's really working on, getting back to being a really accurate passer. And it takes time to get that back.
So 3rd and 10. Wake has overloaded the right side of the defensive line. They will show some different kind of pressures on passing downs. They get to the pocket. Brown takes off, and Anthony Brown absorbs a big hit. He stopped well short. DJ Taylor, middle linebacker, led the way. 4th down, and from this part of the field, most certainly Boston College is going to have to punt the ball back.
And there you see it. Wake Forest defensive coordinator Jay Sawville's not just going to sit back. He's going to come after Anthony Brown. Nice will linebacker, cornerback blitz. Forces a run, they get off the field.
Grant Carlson once again. This could be a spot where Greg Dortch might have a better chance to return a punt. 2 punt returns, and that's a returnable punt for sure. Dortch, who's so dangerous in the open field, he hesitates for a moment, makes that man miss, and here he goes across midfield. Dortch inside the 30, takes a huge hit out of bounds. I think that should have been a penalty. No flag was thrown. I'm really surprised. But even without the flag, that's a long return for number 3. 33 yards, and a flag is finally tossed. I mean, the flag, though, is back near the spot where he caught the ball.
Illegal block in the back.
Wow.
Number 37, return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So that penalty negates the entire return.
You got him. I mean, that's a legit block in the back. But at the end of this play, there's not many more obvious personal fouls hit out of bounds plays than this one. I mean, Dortch has basically got a foot on the ground out of bounds. But if you're Boston College, Dave, you got to be thinking about, we're not going to kick to him. You're going to have to kick away, because that's one of the things that's going to give Wake a chance to win this game tonight. Greg Dortch punt returns.
Well, they got away with it that time because of the block in the back. I truly don't know how can an official be that close to the play and not throw a flag on that hit. Of course, you could also say that Wake Forest got a big break. There was no review of a possible targeting just a few moments ago in this game. Cade Carney, his first carry, he's more of the power back for Wake Forest. Nice gain on first down. Let's go downstairs to Cart.
Middle linebacker Connor Strahan, the starting middle linebacker for BC. He was absolutely laid out on that last possession. He has not returned to the field. They'll need him. He's the guy in the middle. He's the guy that makes all the calls, all the plays. And Steve Adazio told me a couple years ago, if you're in a dark alley, this is the guy you want having your back.
It's a good compliment for a football player. And they easily could have looked at that hit that has him out of the game right now. Hartman is going to go down for the first time. That pressure came up the middle from Wyatt Ray. The sack for the big loss on first down.
Zach Allen for Boston College, one of their defensive ends, gets a ton of pub, big-time player, but Wyatt Ray will be playing on Sundays.
The sack for a loss of 7, throw across the middle and completed outside the 45, close to the 47-yard line. They don't use the tight end all that often in this offense. Brandon Chapman, the sophomore, made the catch. It's 3rd and 8, and even on 3rd and 8, they use that fast tempo. Hartman gets away for a moment, now heaves it incomplete. And I think he just decided that a pass into coverage might result in disaster. 4th down.
Boston College doing a nice job. That tempo doesn't allow, again, to get those packages on the field. But good coordination, communication, get lined up and just playing basic defense, forcing that throwaway by Hartman.
Michael Walker will receive a punt from Wake. Dom Maggio is their punter. And how big was that penalty on the return that had Wake Forest in great field position? That return was negated, and the Eagles defense stepped up. Their catch, and it's bobbled. The Demon Deacons had it for a moment, but I don't know that they have it any longer. And they do. A huge turnover and a big mistake in special teams for Boston College. Michael Walker, usually very reliable.
Walker is one of their sure-handed receivers. One of those basic things, you take your eye off the ball. Wake Forest coverage unit doing a beautiful job getting downfield, putting a little pressure on Walker, and then a bunch of jerseys around the ball, figure out a way to recover it.
I think Demetrius Kemp is the guy who ultimately came away with the football, although Cade Carney had it there too. So a couple different Wake Forest players were on the ball. If you just pretend that's an offensive play, that's like almost a 40-yard gain, and Wake Forest doesn't quite have first and goal, but inside the 15. Well, that's the kind of play that can be a game changer. Under 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Sam Hartman will throw, and it's caught short. Gain of maybe a yard. Jack Frutenthal, the junior tight end. Connor Strahan has come back in this game for BC. Hartman on the move. Hartman turns the corner, gets away. Hartman hit as he goes out of bounds right near the first down mark. He is a tough kid for a true freshman who weighs just about 190 pounds.
They don't mind putting the ball. Yeah, they don't mind putting the ball in his hands. They trust him.
Quick snap, handoff up the middle, touchdown. That is Matt Colburn. Wake Forest takes advantage of the turnover on special teams and punches it in. The whole game really changed when Michael Walker could not field that punt cleanly. Colburn, who really had a good year last year, has been quiet at the start of this season. His first rushing touchdown of the year. Wake's got a true freshman place kicker, Nick Skiba, and he boots a little different than it usually lines up, at least in the first few weeks. Both of these teams, I think, feel like they can be the team to contend with, to push Clemson in the Atlantic. AJ Dillon, certainly a big reason why Boston College feels that way. So this game has a lot of significance for a Week 3 game, first conference game on both sides. Michael Walker, who fumbled that punt, will bring out the kick return. And it drags a would-be tackler across the 25 out to about the 28-yard line. Well, Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo continues on ABC, and a really fascinating game, I think. It's supposedly a neutral site game, although tell that to Ohio State. Number 4 Buckeyes on the road. They'll play in Arlington at Jerry's World against TCU, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. It'll be on the ESPN app, and TCU with that defense and a long time to prepare for Ohio State. We'll see what happens. The Buckeyes have been very dominant in the first couple weeks of the year. We'll see, though. AJ Dillon back on the field. Dillon who had a long touchdown run. Since then, he's mostly gone in this direction. It is so hard to bring him down, but ultimately he goes down. So AJ Dillon, who got off to the fast start, has found the run game much more difficult since.
You're just going to see all this flow from the Wake Forest defense. That's how you got to take A.J. Dillon down. Get numbers to the ball carrier. It's a big deal for this team tonight.
First 4 runs, 62 yards. The last 4 runs, -5 yards for A.J. Dillon. They're throwing the ball out to the right flat. That was read beautifully by Wake. And Jeff Smith went backwards. Jasir Taylor, who kind of had a tough week last week, I thought, the sophomore, made a really good play there.
They're just trying a little wide receiver screen, and again, their defensive coordinator Sawvell told us whoever's playing opposite their lockdown corner, Hassan Bassey's got to have a huge night. Jasir Taylor, beautiful job right there.
And it's a win for Wake anytime number 2 is on the sidelines. A.J. Dillon not on the field for this 3rd down at 20 play. A delayed handoff and not through in the Demon Deacons. Their defense has totally come to life since that first series. Another punt coming for Boston College.
Here's the thing. Neither of these offenses, Dave, are built to play 3rd and long. They are a keep the chains moving, positive first down plays. And when you're not doing it, they get themselves into trouble.
Grant Carlson's had a busy first quarter. Again, remember the return man, Greg Dortch. A long one negated by a penalty. Another very low line drive kind of kick that is returnable. And you're playing with fire when that guy has the ball in his hands. Very good coverage this time from the Eagles. Dortch goes down at the 41-yard line. Well, college football primetime presented by Hampton Inn continues Saturday night on ESPN. Ole Miss gets to host number 1 Alabama. That has been a tough matchup, at least relatively speaking, for the Crimson Tide at 7 Eastern. Also streaming live on the ESPN app, and our college football playoff rankings brought to you by Allstate. And it's not playoff rankings yet, it's just our AP top 10. Alabama, so impressive, but that Ole Miss offense could play.
It's really the battle of the quarterback producing state of Hawaii with Tua and Jordan Tamu out of Ole Miss. Be a ton of fun to watch.
I don't believe that Ole Miss can stop Alabama's offense. The Rebels going to have to score a lot of points. Wake Forest gets the ball back. Cade Carney had some success on his first couple carries. Gets 2 yards here on first down. one of the captains on this Wake Forest team. A junior who actually played for a year in high school with the true freshman quarterback, Sam Hartman. Good protection, the throw into traffic and almost picked. Amp Cheevers, nice break on the ball. 3rd down.
Cheevers almost runs that route for the Wake Forest wide receiver. Plays a little inside, drive, big breakup. He's a big-time football player.
So 3rd and 8. And this is the first time, I think, in this game that Wake has sort of taken its time before an offensive play. More pressure coming. Wake Forest having a hard time blocking up front. Hartman throws on the move, incomplete. It's an experienced offensive line for the Demon Deacons, but they're having problems right now.
3rd down and long is a strength for the Boston College defense because of the unique blitz packages that they present you. It forces everyone in your offense. We got to communicate, be on the same page. If one guy's wrong, you get free rushers.
Now Maggio will punt it again. Trying to pin the Eagles deep. Now off the side of his foot. Walker gets out of the way. It's going to take several bounces, and somehow it stayed out of the end zone. That was like a magic trick. What a punt. If you're a punter, you can celebrate that one.
But that's not one good bounce. This is about 15 or 16 good bounces. It's tracking right towards the end zone. And somehow, some way, it goes sideways.
We don't get to see a lot of these.
Good little ups right there.
Dom Maggio. If you're a baseball fan, what a name.
You like baseball, right? A little bit?
Yes, I do. Yeah, that's why I like Dom Maggio. Now BC with Dillon in an I formation. How about that? They use Brown to sneak just to try to get an extra yard or two of breathing room on 1st down. That's how good that punt was.
Yeah, I mentioned before, Wake Forest had done a nice job of getting some penetration. That's what probably leads to that quarterback sneak, just to be safe.
Dillon bounces that one to the outside and drags his man for a 1st down. Boston College. The power of AJ Dillon. That's a big 1st down for the Eagles.
This is one of the Boston College staples, is they're going to take 3 big tight ends on one side of the formation, get a bunch of double teams, and get Dillon on the edge.
Dillon all alone in the backfield here. 1st and 10. They'll get the ball again. Straight up the middle with the spin move. AJ Dillon out to the 35-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Cart.
Hey, before they took the field, the BC offensive line took it personal. This is a group, all the talk with AJ Dillon, there are 5 starters back for BC, paving the way for number 2. And they have the veteran leadership, and communication was on key before they took the field.
Only Wisconsin in college football, more returning starts along the offensive line. We know how good that Wisconsin offensive line is. Coming into this year, Jeff Smith on that sort of fly sweep action for a short gain on 1st down.
That's difficult for a defense because you've got a big-time back coming downhill at you, and then you're going to take a speedy wide receiver and run across my face. Good eye discipline by Wake.
2nd and 8. Dillon deep in the backfield, gets the ball again. AJ Dillon nowhere to go. Trying to squirt under the tackle, and it wasn't AJ Dillon. That was Davon Jones. That'll be the final play of this 1st quarter, and a very competitive 1st quarter. After it looked like Dillon and the Eagles might run away with this one. 7-7 the score.
A lot of dunes and putting a lot of water into the coastline of North Carolina. I think the one thing that becomes really impactful for a lot of the Carolinas, including here in South Carolina, is how much rain we get with the forecast now calling for up to 3 feet of rain. And so I think, you know, all the different schools that have canceled games or trying to move games, trying to find a bye week to put those games in. I think a really good call. The last thing you want is to have these kind of conditions with the fans in the stadium and the players at risk. It's just a bad idea, but this is a bad storm, and I think a lot of people heeding the warnings and getting out of harm's way. Believe it or not, guys, they've evacuated more than 1 million people from the coastlines here over the last couple of days.
Well, pretty impressive. So mostly to you, it looks like people are safe and sound and ready there in Myrtle Beach and along the coast.
Yeah, it's a beautiful beach here, right? They got a beautiful boardwalk, but it's almost a ghost town, guys. It's amazing to see how many people have left. I think water scares people, as it should, but I think everything's gone very, very well here, very smoothly, and the evacuations have been almost flawless, I would say.
Well, Mike, we really appreciate you giving us a few minutes, letting us look in on the scene along the coastline. We figure you'll probably be too busy tomorrow or Saturday night to watch your Buckeyes play TCU, but be well, please. Stay safe.
I'll find a way. I'm going to DVR it, guys. Take care.
Okay, that's Mike Bettis from the Weather Channel, and we really do appreciate it. Obviously, it is a incredibly busy time for him and everybody there, and we just hope that they all stay safe. Important public service they serve in these kind of times to keep all of us aware of the dangers of a big storm like this, and this is a huge storm. And so even though tonight we're here in Winston-Salem and the skies are almost blue, the wind's blowing, it's a nice night for college football. There will be a lot of rain that will fall here all throughout the Carolinas. And we hope everybody makes it out okay. The true freshman, Sam Hartman, picking his way and not going down easily into Boston College territory. Inside the 45, down to the 44. That's 23 yards on the ground.
They rely on this young quarterback so much, and he's so fun to watch. Kind of breathing life into their offense.
Well, Hartman throws a pick. As soon as we say that, he threw it right to Hamp Cheevers, who had the great coverage, and that is what Wake Forest is dealing with right now. You get all the positive from the kid who's just 19 years old, and then there have been a few too many of those.
And he's such a good player, you want to let him be a good player, right? And you don't want to handcuff him.
But the mistakes, he's had 2 of them, 2 picks already for the Boston College coastline in Winston-Salem. There will be a lot of rain that falls here, but for now, the weather conditions are absolutely ideal for AJ Dillon to run wild, and that's what he's been doing. Dillon, who had the long touchdown run to start. Now, since then, to be fair to Wake Forest defense, they have defended him much better, but at 245 pounds, he is just so hard to bring down. The defense for the Demon Deacons has been pretty good. 7-yard gain on first down. Dillon gets it again and will get close. Got stopped maybe a little bit short. Now penalty flag comes in late.
Personal foul, face mask, number 34, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Demetrius Kemp with the penalty. Did he get him on the face mask? Well, he ripped under that helmet.
Got enough. Yeah, but Dave, like you said, to the Wake credit, they gave up the big play early on, which is something they didn't want to do, but they've buckled down and played good defense so far.
But a turnover, an interception thrown by Sam Hartman. BC had good field position. Now with a couple runs and the penalty into Wake Forest territory. Dillon straight ahead. Being tackled inside the 30, close to the 26-yard line.
It's just such a tough play to defend for Wake because everyone's one-on-one blocking behind some double teams from their O-line. And AJ Dillon just needs one little crease. And we see 5 or 6 yards.
He's up over 100 now already. There's still plenty of time left in the second quarter. A couple play fakes wide open in the end zone. Delivered on target. Incomplete. He could not hang on. Jeff Smith did not come up with it. That could have been a touchdown for Boston College. I thought it was a pretty good throw.
It's the name of the game for this offense. Run the ball and then take some play action shots. It's a good throw by Anthony Brown. Smith just going to get that last toe in. But you're going to see this more tonight. Run, run, big ball play action. You'd love to see Jeff Smith get his feet down.
Ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is under further review.
Now, was he juggling the ball? Is that what the official was saying? Because he definitely, I thought, had the ball and had one foot down. I guess the question is, did he have full control when that left foot came down? The right foot stepped out of bounds. They said incomplete. They're going to look at it.
That left foot's down. Did he secure that ball?
It's a question of timing. When do they rule that he actually had control of the ball? It moved just enough to where there's some doubt. I don't know.
It looks like he gets his left foot down right there. It's just this little shift of the ball, but it really looks like he's just transferring it right from one arm to the other.
And the question is, okay, if he still doesn't have it, does he have to establish that right foot down to make it a legal catch?
There's a little bobble right at the point of contact with his hands that might swing this referee decision, this replay.
So our officials in the booth taking a look. Jeff Smith hopeful. And he came up shaking his head. It wasn't like he made a big protest. I mean, I think he did know that there was a little bobble in there.
I think there's going to be just a little bit of a bobble, right? Yeah, see, right at that point where the ball hits his hands. There's a very small juggle right behind the goalpost. Ooh.
That's a tough one.
After review, the receiver got a foot down in the end zone and did maintain possession of the ball when he went to the ground. It's a touchdown.
Well, Dave Clawson not happy about that, but it is a touchdown. He's arguing that there was a bobble in there, but not according to the replay official. So that puts Boston College back ahead. Jeff Smith, who's one of their big play receivers, benefit of the replay. 27-yard touchdown pass and catch. John Tessitore, you know the last name, the true freshman who is doing the place kicking for Boston College very early in his BC career. Booted one through already in this game. Extra point here is up, and it is good. So Boston College with the touchdown pass and the point his way to Chicago for Monday Night Football. Tonight he gets to be a dad. And John is 2 for 2 on point after tries. The freshman at BC has a very bright future, and Dad is really proud. Good for Tess. He gets to be a fan tonight. BC with the 7-point lead. Wake Forest will get the ball back. They have moved the ball. They have not protected the ball so far in this one. And that was kind of the #1 thing for Dave Clawson. If we take care of the ball and win the turnover battle, he felt like, hey, we got a good chance to win this game.
It's life with the true freshman at quarterback, and they love him. Now, as a play caller, Warren Ruggiero, their offensive coordinator, let him settle in a little bit.
High snap, handled after a little bobble, and a handoff for a gain of a yard. So that could have been a disaster. Big number 96, Ray Smith in on the tackle. Max Richardson, number 14, a very talented, still young linebacker for BC. They got a lot of talent on this side of the ball. This team is not all about just AJ Dillon. The long delayed sort of mesh point play with Hartman, pulled the ball back and threw incomplete.
Just settling in. And I've said it once already, that looks a little jittery in the pocket. He's had some mistakes. He's handling the ball.
They're going to hand the ball off on 3rd and long, and that was well done by the BC defense. And who knows, maybe some hangover from those 2 picks. A little less confidence, whether it's Hartman himself or his play caller, in his ability to deliver the ball. That was very conservative from Wake. They will punt the ball back to the Eagles.
And they ask a lot out of Sam Hartman as a young quarterback with a lot of the RPO, the run pass options that they do. But this BC defense has the chance to be dominant, so give them some credit.
Ron Maggio booms that one. Michael Walker all the way back near the 20 to field it. Got a block and takes a huge hit at the 29-yard line. That's where the Eagles will have the ball when we come.
It's a week-long celebration of teachers led by College Football Playoff Foundation through its Extra Yard for Teachers platform. Visit the College Football Playoff Foundation website at www.cfp-foundation.org to learn more about Extra Yards for Teachers. Gentlemen, the teacher who's impacted me the most, it's pretty simple. It's my father, Lawrence. He taught in the South Bronx for 32 years at PS 118, a middle school. And every single day he came home and he was our teacher. An amazing person and learned life lessons every single day.
Great stuff, Cart. Tougher on you or tougher on his kids? maybe we don't want to know the answer. Anthony Brown, after the loss on first down, completes it back to close to the starting line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and 9 for BC. Yesterday when we were walking around campus late in the afternoon, the song I heard on those bells was Leaving on a Jet Plane. I was like, huh, that's interesting. And now we got to see how it happened. 3rd and 9 for BC. The Eagles with an empty backfield. Their sophomore quarterback Anthony Brown. Some pressure straight up the middle. Brown's going to throw on the move. He completes the pass to his tight end Sweeney, but stops short of the first down.
Jay Sawvell, the Wake Forest defensive coordinator, takes Cameron Glenn, one of his safeties, puts him down in a rush position. The athleticism allows him to kind of get after that Boston College offensive line a little bit, force pressure to make Anthony Brown move.
Wake came in with 8 sacks in 2 games, much different level of competition, even for the Demon Deacons, but still they've done a pretty good job early in this year. Now a high snap. The punter is going to try to get it off. It's blocked, and it's rolling to the end zone. Special teams has been a disaster for BC. It's another touchdown for Wake Forest after a special teams mistake. Malik Great pounced on the ball, and I think it was Demetrius Kemp who got the block after the snap went right over the head of Grant Carlson. The muff punt earlier set up the Demon Deacons in position to get their first touchdown. Now the special teams just took care of it themselves. So the high snap was not handled. Extra point coming here for Nick Skiba to try to tie the game. He does. Steve Adazio's got to be wondering what's going on to his special teams.
Well, I love the fact that Demetrius Kemp goes after the ball. I mean, so often rush guys in that moment are going to go after the punter. Kemp sells out for the ball. That's what affords that block to happen. And then Great's there. Does a nice job of getting on his hip on his side to slide on that ball for a big recovery.
And I will say this, the snap wasn't as bad as I thought in real time. I mean, I think Grant Carlson's got to catch that ball. It wasn't perfect, but he jumped up a little bit. That one went through his hands, though. I think if you're the punter, you got to come up with that one.
And Steve Adazio, the Boston College head coach, said, I'm interested to see how our team handles a little bit of pressure, stepping up in some competition. We've seen some mistakes. Obviously a huge one there. And now if you're Wake Forest and Dave Clawson, you're saying we belong. We're right back in this football game.
So there have been mistakes on both sides. Now a very short, almost pooch kickoff. No fair catch, taken outside the 30. That'll be pretty decent field position for Boston College. AJ Dillon, the big plays have been there in this first half.
And a lot of them are just him having some double team blocks in front of him and getting on the outside. And one of his strengths is getting on the outside, and then he's got the ability to just hit home runs. This is their team. This is their identity. We're going to run the football early and often, and we rely on our big-time tailback to churn up the clock in yards.
And it's a good point you make, because they just keep giving him the ball. He's been stopped a bunch of times for short gains, no games, negative yards. Wake's made a lot of plays like that, but it's just so hard to contain AJ Dillon. Boston College is going to feed him the ball. Cam Glenn back on the field, healthy this week. He's made an impact for the Demon Deacons. 2nd and 7. They'll pitch it to Dillon, coming right side. Trying to find a block. I think the block was an illegal one. Penalty flag thrown. Out of bounds short of the first down, but I think this one is moving backwards.
Holding, number 19, offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Ben Glines, wide receiver, with the hold.
And the thing that's standing out to me in the Wake Forest defense right now is how good they're playing sideline to sideline and stringing some stuff out. Yes, Dillon's had some good runs, but they've also minimized him getting to the sideline a couple times tonight.
Second down and 15. Dillon stays in the game. Brown works from the shotgun. That pressure came right away. He had to get rid of the ball. Did a good job of doing it. To find Jeff Smith, get some positive yards. Man, the offensive lineman for Boston College was beaten by Zeke Rodney right at the snap. That was a good play by Anthony Brown just to get something out of that one. Set up 3rd and 8.
This is part of this game tonight. Is can Anthony Brown step up on 3rd down and make some throws?
This is where Wake's defense wants to be. 3rd and long, where AJ Dillon isn't quite as much of a factor. 4 receivers and a tailback to help protect Brown, who throws a dangerous pass. It is caught, but well short of the 1st down. Glines hangs on. There were defenders in the neighborhood. It's 4th down. Wake Forest forces another BC punt.
And it goes back to being good on 1st and 2nd down for BC, because that is a 6-yard completion there, but you're not in 3rd and 6. You're in 3rd and 9. You've been hurting yourself too much.
So Carlson, we'll see how this snap and punt is executed. Jimmy Martin is the snapper. Again, watching that back, I don't think it wasn't a perfect snap. But I think the punter had to catch that one. Last time they tried this, it was a Wake Forest touchdown. This time the punt off, end over end, and a fair catch for Dortch inside the 20. Been kind of a wild game so far. The Demon Deacons looking for an upset win at home against Wake Forest. Handoff left side running. It's a power running for the junior Cade Carney. He is the power back for Wake Forest. See if the Demon Deacons can get something established on the ground here to help their young quarterback. Hartman takes a high snap. Maybe a design run all the way. There wasn't much room there. Gain of a yard.
And as much as we've talked about the BC offensive line, Wake and their staff believe that their offensive line is a strength right now, too, for this football team.
Carney motions into the backfield, and they will give the ball to Cade Carney once again. He stopped short of the line of scrimmage, lost a half a yard. 3rd down. Both Cade Carney and Sam Hartman played for Chad Greer, who is the father of Will Greer at Davidson Day outside Charlotte. Helped coach Sam Hartman get him ready for college football. Hartman on 3rd and long, down the right sideline, and the pass is caught. Over the shoulder catch for a big completion. Steve Claude.
How about that for a true freshman? Rebounded off a tough start. This is something he showed on tape, though. Beautiful deep ball. Perfect accuracy to allow Claude just to drift a little bit.
26 yards. They're going to play fake and let Hartman air it out again. That one dangerously thrown with some coverage close by. Intended for Dortch.
Just watch at the end of that play just how, I mean, that ball's perfect. You can't throw it better. And that's what allows that catch, because the DB's there for that play.
I think they do need to help Hartman build up a little confidence. Looking to run, now throws, incomplete. Sort of a half throwaway, half pass intended for Sage Surratt. 3rd and 10.
He got a little pressure from a guy named Zach Allen, who plays DN for BC. He's an All-American. He's going to be a 1st-round draft pick. Incredible athlete, violent hands, loves to rush.
A little huffing and puffing. BC brings pressure, a straight-ahead run. Hartman lowered those shoulder pads. He stopped 3, maybe 4 yards short. We'll see if Wake Forest has a decision to make here. Will they dare go for it on 4th down? I think they're gonna. With their up-tempo. Dave Clausen going for it on 4th down. That pass caught. 1st down and more inside the 20. Still Surratt on his feet inside the 10, down to about the 4. Well, it was a dangerous pass. BC went for the pick and didn't get it.
And sometimes as a play caller, you give your team confidence. And Hamp Cheevers, number 4 for BC, guesses right, makes a jump on the ball. Again, great location by Strahan, or Hartman.
The handoff straight ahead. Cade Carney, BC read that one well. No gain. It'll be 2nd and goal. Well, a very gutsy move by Dave Clawson. I like it. I don't think there are a lot of coaches who do that. A tie game. A throw. Touchdown. Sage Surratt. Wake Forest goes for it on 4th down. They convert. 1st and goal. Took him a couple plays. And Sam Hartman throws for his first touchdown of this game.
Sam Hartman does not play like a freshman, and Boston College knows that. And he is not backing down tonight for Wake Forest.
Extra point is good. The Demon Deacons with a 7-point lead.
And leaning on their freshman quarterback down in the red zone. He got him there. Nice little ball fake, drilling that slant into Surratt. And a little bit of post-play talk.
Your school can compete, and the students here, now this is not a big undergraduate population at Wake Forest, one of the smallest schools playing high-level football. And yet their students are here in pretty good numbers on this early Thursday kickoff. Remember, we moved the game a couple hours up because of the storm that is moving into North Carolina. Wake Forest just took the lead a moment ago.
I love this play call down here. Here's the guy that we're trying to influence offensively. Get a couple blocks on the front side. A nice hard RPO, drawn out mesh fake. And then you're going to get the receiver, Surratt, get inside leverage. Nice easy throw for their quarterback, their young quarterback. And like I said, he let Zach Allen know after that play, you guys are in for a fight tonight.
Well, one thing that he does not lack, and we're talking about Sam Hartman, the true freshman, is confidence. You know, one of his teammates compared him to Baker Mayfield. I think there is a little personality comparison to be made. Maybe both feel like they're a little bit underdogs. AJ Dillon, there's nothing underdog about number 2. More power running from him. A BC first down. We'll see if they can get that ground game going.
And it's just such a stress to your defense because he gets an inside handoff, and if you don't secure the edges where your defensive ends are on these tight ends, he's going to find it. And once he gets his shoulders square, watch out.
So Dillon out. Travis Levy, the sophomore tailback, is in on 1st and 10. They will give the jet sweep to Jeff Smith, who's got good speed on the outside, breaks a tackle across midfield. Smith inside the 40 down to the 35. Big play with the speedster on the outside, 30 yards.
One of the things with all these guys inside the hash for BC's offense means Wake's defense has to be inside the hash too. That jet sweep gets the ball right on the edge. It's one-on-one.
Dave Fleming, Dan Orlovsky, Paul Carcaterra, happy to have you with us here. Very competitive game and a high-scoring game in the first half. Play fake. And Anthony Brown trying for the deep ball. He completes it at the goal line and in. Touchdown, Boston College. Kobe White. 2 long pass plays through the air for scores for the Eagles. They don't have to just rely on their star tailback. Anthony Brown, a couple good deliveries. That one for 35 yards.
And give credit to the BC offensive coordinator, Scott Leffler. Run, 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 play action on the previous drive for a touchdown. Here again, run, 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 big ball play action.
And once again, John Tessitore will try to kick the ball through for the extra point. That's a little movement along the line. The kick is up and good. A penalty flag was thrown. I thought it was Wake Forest who jumped off sides.
Offside, number 6, defense. Penalties decline. Point was good.
We're going to keep our eyes on this slot receiver right here. And he's just going to come up. Outside release his route, a little out route. Double move, gets the corner to bite. Down the sideline. That arc release, that outside release. And then that out route head turn right there. That gets Cameron Glenn, the safety, to jump. And Anthony Brown has answered the bell. It's been demanded of him to make some plays tonight. And as a quarterback, your coordinator's calling shots for you. You're hitting them. You got to be feeling good right now if you're Anthony Brown.
Second touchdown pass for the sophomore coming back from the knee injury. You figure he's going to have to do that this year. Teams are going to game plan for AJ Dillon, and whether they stop him is a whole different question, but they will try to force Boston College to score through the air. And they've done it 2 times against Wake Forest. Dortch will take a knee. Let's check in with the studio and Adnan Vert.
Well, Dave Fleming coming up in the Mazda halftime report. BC legend Mark Herzlich, our special guest analyst tonight. He'll give us our thoughts on what's happening. Joy Galloway is here as well, too. Plus, the Buckeyes' first big test of the year as they face TCU. And in Verkin overtime, we look at first-year head coaches and what impact they're making. We need more Joe tests with some live reads and also more Dom Maggio. Dave, back to you.
See, Dom Maggio, he had a 55-yard punt, Adnan. I wanted the official stats guy to make it 56. If your name is Dom Maggio, how about a 56-yard punt? Like that name. He's the Wake Forest punter. The Demon Deacons have the ball back. It's 21-21. And they'll keep it on the ground on first down for very little yardage. Matt Colburn with the carry.
The way this game is shaping up, it's going to be interesting in the fourth quarter. Joe Tess may not be ready to do any reads. He might be biting some nails.
That is a fact. Joe, this is a night for him to be a fan, to be a dad. Colburn, penalty flag thrown. Breaking tackles, big gain, but we'll see if it's coming back. It may be. Dave Clawson, very unhappy, the head coach.
Number 73, offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Add insult to injury after the penalty negates the long run. The shoe came off. Jake Benzinger, who has moved from right tackle to left tackle. Justin Herron, their starting left tackle, out for the year with a knee injury. Benzinger's a good player, but commits the big penalty there.
And here you go again. If you're the Wake offense, you're in a 2nd and 20 situation, and this is not who you are. This does not set you up for success on third down.
You got a quarterback who is very talented, very brash, but has made some mistakes tonight. We'll see how aggressive they are for this part of the field. Across the 20. Dave Carney, third down. Now whistles blowing. Boston College is going to use one of its 3 timeouts. Try to save as much time for when they presumably will get the ball back. They think they're getting the ball back. Breathing pretty deep, Zach Allen. We'll see how BC holds up. Their top line players have not played a lot of snaps this year. They're going to hand the ball off. And a very conservative play call. You can almost see that coming. BC's going to use another timeout. 2:04. The clock stops. Fourth down. A punt coming up. And I think Dave Clawson just did not want to take a chance in his own territory, fairly deep, with a ball hawking defense. BC's going to get the ball back with about 2 minutes to go until halftime.
You've got such a special playmaker in Greg Dortch, though, and I would have loved to seen a screen. It's a relatively safe play. You never know what can happen. He could pop a miss a tackle, catch a seam, and then all of a sudden first down and you're rolling.
And he's only had 1 catch in this first half. So 21-21, BC's defense, nice job there. The penalty helped. 56 on this punt from Dom Maggio. Wake Forest would take that. Not going to be 56 yards. A fair catch from Walker at around the 35. Get a college scholarship. And his sights were a little lower way back then. He has become one of the great stars of college football. And for the moment, the sophomore is on the sidelines. So we'll see if he can get back out there. Anthony Brown across the middle to the tight end. And Tom Sweeney broke a tackle to get a BC first down. Clock stops while they set the ball.
That's a big thing with these 2-minute drills right there, Dave. Just get the ball out of your hands as a quarterback on that first play completion. Start getting some rhythm.
So first down BC, under 2 minutes to go, late in the first half, and an overthrow. There was a little pocket there. Kobe White was open for a second. Anthony Brown couldn't quite fit it in, incomplete.
Kobe White's there. This is the right read by Anthony Brown. The corner Amari Henderson kind of hangs on a little shorter route, and Kobe White kind of got lost, slowed down on that ball. Otherwise, that's a good completion by Anthony Brown.
AJ Dillon back in the game, and I think it pains Michigan fans these days to watch Dillon. He initially committed to the Wolverines, then decided to play closer to home. Gets hit hard and dropped for a loss of a yard. Steve Adazio is going to use that final timeout to stop the clock. 1:26 to go until halftime.
And we've talked about Dillon and how really he's changed. I mean, since he became the starter for BC, he's totally changed this program. They're scoring almost 35, 40 points a game with him, 283 rush yards. And it's been impactful because he's a New England kid, and he's really put BC back on the map.
Nobody in this program wants to imagine what would have happened if he just stayed with his Michigan commitment and gone to Ann Arbor, because things would be a lot different for the Eagles right now. Clark down on the field. More on A.J. Dillon, huh, Paul?
You know, Dan, when we spoke to him last night, it was interesting. I thought he was very well spoken, but you asked him the question, are you the best running back in college football? He said yes, and the numbers, they're hard to argue. Since he's been in the starting lineup, he's been averaging 167 yards a game. That's most in the FBS. A guy named Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, he's number 2 with 146.
And we got some running back talent with Taylor, with Bryce Love, lots of great backs across the country, but it is hard to argue with A.J. Dillon. 3rd and 10 though now for BC. And Dillon off the field for this 3rd and long. Brown with nowhere to go with the ball will throw off his back foot, and it was a dangerous pass. Incomplete. Clock stops 1:19. I don't know how aggressive Wake wants to be with their true freshman, but I know they want to be aggressive on special teams because they've created big plays when Boston College has tried to punt the ball.
If I'm Boston College, there's a 0% chance I'm kicking this ball to Greg Dortch inbounds.
The main thing is handle the snap and get the kickoff quickly and kick it to the sidelines. Don't let number 3 have a chance for a big return. He has 2 punt returns for a touchdown already this year. He had a long return earlier in this game that was negated by penalty. This one is returnable. And he will use that speed across the 15. Got tripped up, though. That was a big open field tackle by the Eagles special teams. So 1:08 on the clock. We'll see what Wake Forest decides to do. The ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now. All kinds of good stuff on that ESPN Plus app. Wake Forest 44 plays run here in the first half. Rushing yards not as lopsided as maybe you could have guessed. Total yards fairly even, and the score is even. It's 21-21. Sam Hartman going to hand the ball off. And it's hard to blame Wake Forest, I think, for being pretty conservative here. You got a big play defense on the BC side.
And if you're Wake and Dave Clawson, you've got to feel great going into halftime tied up, especially with how this game started, with Dillon ripping off that run early and your true freshman quarterback not having a fantastic half. So let's get into halftime, regroup, and figure out the best way for us to win this ball game in the second half.
Well, they do get the ball to start the second half. They deferred after winning the toss. Next year, Sam Hartman, a little more experience. No way Wake is going to play it like this, but I think the first half with a little adversity, the 2 picks thrown, been some moments where it looks like maybe the confidence in the play calling hasn't quite been there. So they're just going to let the final seconds of the first half run down. Harry here with you from Winston-Salem. Wake Forest, who deferred to start the game, will get the kick to start the second half, and their dangerous return man Greg Dortch has been mostly contained by BC. Still on his feet, but just barely outside the 15. That's where the Wake Forest offense and their quarterback will take over.
We've had a little bad and a little good, you know, just staring down some receivers, freshman mistakes. This one, he stares right with his eyes, and Hamp Cheever's too good of a corner, but he also hasn't blinked, Dave. Responding with a beautiful deep ball down the field, perfect accuracy, aggressive on 4th down to get them down into the red zone, and then he finishes it off for a touchdown. So I love the good stuff that I've seen from him. Value the ball in this second half. See if you can go win this ball game.
Yeah, you're kind of seeing the full package from the true freshman. A handoff on first down. The ground game was productive for Wake Forest. And what a broken tackle for Matt Colburn. That gained Wake Forest an extra 15, maybe even 20 yards. 18 total on the carry for the senior. And right away, a little better field position. That quick tempo comes back. The handoff. Colburn spin move to the 50, bounces it outside. Inside the 35, down to the 31.
How about the spin move from Colburn? A little delayed RPO mesh. The spin move, some breakaway speed. And Wake Forest has got it going.
Fake handoff. Hartman kept it. You saw the big hit on the running back. But Hartman, very daring, bold play for the true freshman. He might have been shaken up a little at the end of that play. I think his running back might have been 2 gain of 7. Wake Forest goes fast. Swing pass, Colburn, catch, run, first down, inside the 20.
The thing that's so hard about this offense is these meshes that Hartman has with his backs. They take so long, and his defense, it forces you to play a little hesitant.
I think we're seeing that from the Eagles at times. First down running play. Tackle inside the 15 down to the 14. Leaning on the senior Matt Colburn. He finished last year very strong. 4 of the last 6 games for Wake last year, Matt Colburn had better than 100 yards rushing. Sam Hartman, the true freshman from Charlotte, looking to run. Hartman to the 11-yard line. Third down.
Because of those relatively successful first and second down runs, now you're in much more of a manageable situation on this 3rd and 5. Don't be surprised if he looks to Greg Dortch.
Handed off instead, and well defended, a tackle just short. Colburn, I think he thought he had a little hole there, and it closed up. Ray Smith with the big tackle. That is going to send the field goal team out for Wake Forest.
And this is the right call for Dave Clawson. You just went down the field to start this half. Now you're going to have the opportunity to take the lead, and all this pressure now gets heaped on Boston College.
So Nick Skiba, the true freshman. Kick is up, and it is good. Nice opening drive for Wake Forest. They get the lead back, 24-21. Just the first few minutes of this third.
Wake Forest it's given him that time, and we're kind of seeing it play out on the field tonight.
Kick return for Boston College. Outside the 20. Walker wrestled out of bounds. Let's go down to Paul Carcaterra.
We spotted him 14 points. That's what Steve Adazio just told me minutes ago, referring to the special teams mishaps and the turnover. He also told me in this second half, Dan, they are loading the box on AJ Dillon. Look for the play action, my friend.
And Anthony Brown, their quarterback, has answered the call. They got to be better on first down, though. Now, the thing, Wake's been tested a little bit these first 2 weeks. Boston College has not. So we're going to really see what this team's made of here in the second half.
I think it is something to keep in mind. They're going to hand it off. No play fake on first down. Dillon going nowhere. In fact, he went backwards, lost a yard. Second down and long. Zeke Rodney's playing a good game up the middle for Wake Forest. But the point you make, Boston College's starting players in their first 2 games, UMass and Holy Cross, did not play even combined a full game. They did not play a ton of snaps. And I think the conditioning is a little bit of an issue as this game goes on. Brown on the move. Brown tries to stop and start again, and that's tough. He is sacked for a loss of a couple yards. Boogie Basham, the sophomore from Roanoke.
And they love Boogie. And they've said all he needs is more reps. Beautiful job of keeping contained. Coverage does their job on the bootleg. And here we go again. Another 3rd and long for BC.
3rd down and 14 for the Eagles. Their first drive of the second half, now down by 3. After the Wake Forest field goal, I think there was movement. The Wake Forest players certainly thought so. They started officiating the game. There was no flag thrown, and that pass is completed. And to me, that's a mistake by those kids for Wake Forest. It was a great play by the Eagles. Jeff Smith with the catch for the first down.
Anthony Brown aware that we're still in live play and able to just drive that ball to that sideline. Right to Jeff Smith. Perfect location up over the corner's head.
We give BC credit for the excellent play, but Wake Forest's defenders were not ready. Here is that play action that Clark was talking about. Incomplete. Overthrown. Intended for Lewis. They may have had a point. The center, I think, was the guy they were pointing at. Did he move the ball? Yeah, he did. Oh, he definitely flinched. That's another one of those. How do you miss that? Yeah. Isn't there an official staring right at the ball, right at the line?
It's his job to see that exact thing happening.
Still, though, Wake Forest's players came out of their stances and were not ready for the snap. Dillon broke one. You can't break 6 tackles all at once, even a guy as strong and tough as AJ Dillon. Third down.
Just incredibly impressed with Wake. Trying to doing everything they can to slow down AJ Dillon. And here we've talked about it. Wake, the average yards to go on third down for them is 10 yards for the Boston College offense. I apologize.
Yeah, and you see the numbers, 2 for 9 on third down because of that. That last completion on 3rd and long. But here we go again. 3rd and 7 this time. Anthony Brown making some more changes. Play clock starting to wind down. We haven't said that much tonight. They barely get it snapped. Pressure comes. Brown delivers and juggled but caught by Michael Walker. He hangs on inside the 40. Another conversion on 3rd and long.
This is a night of quarterbacks answering the bell, and Anthony Brown against an inside blitz, delivering that ball on time to Michael Walker.
17 yards on 3rd and 7 into Wake Forest territory. And off Dillon straight ahead. This time more room down to the 30. He got 7 on first down. Well, against Holy Cross and against UMass, there was almost no resistance. And AJ Dillon was running free almost every time he touched the ball. That has not been the case tonight. Even with good numbers for Dillon here against Wake Forest. 2nd and 2. Play fake. Looking deep toward the end zone. The throw is caught. Touchdown. Tommy Sweeney, the tight end. The big plays in the passing game right now. Not AJ Dillon. Those big plays are the difference in this game.
I love the throw by Anthony Brown. Everybody at home might be thinking it's behind Tommy Sweeney. He actually places that ball there on purpose to make sure it gets up over that flat defender, and knowing his tight end's such a big target.
Well, Sweeney's a really good player, and he made sure to get the foot down. The ball, I think, did cross the plane. They're going to stop and take a look just to make sure. But I think they got the call right. That should be a touchdown.
You know, one of the things that's kind of stood out on all 3 of these touchdown passes for Anthony Brown is their play action, and that's kind of forced that Wake Forest rush not to be a factor. You know, that run game has held those rush guys just a little bit, and it's allowed all these big play action passes to get pushed downfield.
He definitely got the foot down. He had control. Does the ball cross the plane? To me, it's obvious. This shouldn't take long.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
So it is a touchdown pass from Brown to Sweeney. Boston College has 10 tight ends on their roster. They love the tight end at BC.
It's kind of where this program is. They've always been known for big-time tight ends, and this team for BC is built like the BCs of old. Great offensive line, really big-time tight ends. Tommy Sweeney's going to be playing in the NFL one day.
So young John Tessitore for another extra point try, and is up and good. Good answer from the Eagles of Boston College. The BC Eagles on their first offensive drive of the second half, and in the end, into the end zone. Boston College back in front. We've had a back and forth game. 28-24. Eagles kicking off to Dortch. and Wake Forest. George so dangerous in the return game. That quick cut gets out to the 30. It'll be pretty good starting field position for the Demon Deacons.
Let's check this play out. So BC's going to take these two inside receivers and kind of clear them out. And Sweeney's going to come up and run a corner route. That Wake defender is the guy we're going to keep our eyes on. He's the flat defender to try and get underneath the corner routes. Now, as you get to the top of that route and hold it, Sweeney does a beautiful job of keeping this high angle because that defender for Wake does his job. Sweeney goes high to the pylon, not flattening it off. Him and his quarterback, Anthony Brown, on the same page. Huge touchdown for Boston College. That was sweet.
Very well executed. Wake Forest has challenged BC to throw the ball. They've been up to the task. That's going to be an offsides, I think, for the sophomore TJ Ram. I'm sure Wake Forest is also thinking back to that non-call on what looked to be a procedure penalty by the center of BC. It ended up being a long third down conversion. It was 3rd and 14, and BC converted and kept the drive alive. That was a big non-call. Hand off, Colburn bouncing it, then he lowered the shoulder, came up a yard short of the first down.
Man, Colburn has been impressive with some sudden cuts tonight.
Dillon's not the only talented back in this game. Colburn gets the first down and more. Out to the 45. He's a very interesting kid, just like AJ Dillon. Dillon's into photography, Matt Colburn's into music, so you got two really good football players who aren't all about football. Pressure coming. Colburn picks up the blitz, at least for a moment. Flag thrown. Hartman throws it incomplete. And another flag is thrown at the end of the play. I think Hartman got roughed. They're going to call a roughing the passer. That was the second penalty. Max Richardson slow to get up.
Holding, number 22, offense. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 2, defense. Those fouls offset. First down.
Well, let's look at the roughing the passer on the senior Zach Allen.
And he gets him late. I mean, that ball's gone, and he wraps him and drags him to the ground. And for a senior on this defense, who's an incredibly smart guy and football player, you obviously can't do things like that.
You do wonder whether Zach Allen, remember, Hartman kind of got in his face after a touchdown throw earlier in the game. It wasn't a particularly dirty or violent play by Allen, but I think an easy penalty call.
And this drive for the BC defense has really been part of 2 penalties. It's aided this Wake offense.
So 1st and 10, we'll play first down over again. And off, Colburn got a yard. Hartman looking to throw from the pocket. That one is incomplete, almost intercepted. Tajamir Torres nearly picked it off. They have tried to get the ball to number 3 Greg Dortch, and Boston College is making it very tough. Quickly to the line. This is what Wake does. 3rd and 10. Pressure picked up. Hartman pressured by Allen. The ball was tipped, incomplete. So Allen didn't get to the quarterback, but he knocked the ball down. 4th down.
And again, BC finding a way, even with tempo, to get some of the unique blitzes pulled off. Allows Allen to make sure that he gets contained. Ball's batted down, they get off the field.
That is pretty impressive. I think that's the #1 challenge when you play Wake Forest. They go so fast, you can't get organized and do the stuff that you want to do. BC has been able to pull some of that off, I think. Punt coming. Special teams been an adventure for the Eagles. This time the ball secured right at the 20-yard line. We'll take a timeout. AJ Dillon and the BC offense back on the field.
On that 3rd down with the snap issue, continuing to play. But some of his receivers and tight ends have made some really nice plays down the field for Anthony Brown, and he's hot right now playing quarterback for BC.
Well, that's what Cart told us. He talked to Steve Adazio about, okay, if they're going to sell out to stop the run, we got to be able to throw the ball. That's what the Eagles did on that first drive of the second half. Now they have it again after the defense came up with a stop and another play action. Kind of off the back foot. That deep ball is incomplete. Nowhere near Jeff Smith. That will go back down to Clark.
The sideline, Tommy Sweeney, a great example of grinding, keeping your head down and being a leader. He's a grad student, and when he came to BC, nobody wanted this kid. Not a lot of stars next to his name. He had one offer from Delaware, and Dan, I know you love this kid. We'll be seeing him on Sundays. He's a leader on the sideline as well.
Dillon with the carry on second down, stopped after a gain of 2.
You know, Sweeney's a little bit of a throwback tight end, can kind of block, good receiver downfield, fits the BC mold. I wouldn't be surprised if they look to him on third down right here, which is a crucial moment right now in this ballgame.
He's got 5 catches, 58 yards. He's got a touchdown. Every time they've targeted him, he's come up with the ball. 3rd and 8. There's number 89. Brown looking middle. It's caught, and a shoelace tackle might have saved a touchdown. Jeff Smith was seeing nothing but green out in front, but the tackle prevented the huge play. It is another conversion, though.
A little motion, get a stack release. Sweeney sits right in front of that second level defender, and then Jeff Smith wraps right around. Great read by Anthony Brown.
The sophomore quarterback really playing well tonight. 1st and 10, Eagles. Play action. Pressure came a little quicker this time. Incomplete. The Wake sideline just cannot believe there wasn't a holding flag thrown.
This is going to be a storyline for the next quarter and a half for us, Dave. What team is going to defend the play action pass the best? Because Wake hasn't been great at it tonight, but they're both running the ball and are going to take shots. Who's going to have better eye discipline on defense?
Second and 10. They give it to Dillon, and they're still playing the run hard. Dillon just so often he's touching the ball, and right away there are defenders on top of him.
And Wake has done a fantastic job of fighting that run tonight. Now it's opened up, the Dillon effect has opened up those play action passes down the field. But now BC is asking a lot out of Anthony Brown on third down.
These 2 drives, Boston College 3 for 3 on third downs, and they've been long conversions. Another one here, 3rd and 8. Brown, good protection. That throw incomplete. Very high. This time BC looking for the flag, but no flag was thrown. It's 4th down.
I like it. Jasir Taylor playing corner for Wake. Got up in the receiver's face. Got a little hands on him. I'm not going to give you an easy release. Watch him get some hands on him. Make sure you're not going to give him an easy release, easy completion. And the nice job of just cutting underneath, forcing that ball just a little bit to sail on Anthony Brown.
Big play guy on special teams for the Demon Deacons, Greg Dortch. Can BC keep the ball away from him? That punt was pressured. There was contact, very little, but the punter went to the ground. Dortch makes a man miss and gets tackled inside the 10. Demetrius Kemp ran into the punter. And a flag was thrown. That's just a 5-yard penalty.
Running into the kicker, number 34, receiving team. Penalties decline. 1st down.
Well, Grant Carlson sold it a little bit. Wake Forest will not have very good field position. BC's defense back on the field. This is starting to smash the Carolina coast. We are about 200 miles inland from the Atlantic coast. And it's actually been a beautiful night for college football in this Thursday. Wake Forest going downfield on 1st down and into coverage, incomplete. Cheevers thought he had another pick. It's 2nd down.
Sam Hartman may want to stop throwing at Ham Cheevers. He's been around the ball a lot. Love how he just plays that back hip when the ball's in the air and just cuts right underneath. He's going to be disappointed he didn't come down with that one.
That's one he should have had. He is a very good player. He's not big. Little undersized guy. Nice cut by Carney up the middle. 25-30. Tackle from behind, no. Smashing his way across the 45 out to the 48. Cade Carney not just a power back, he's got some speed too.
Again, what's so hard, see that patience right there, a little Le'Veon Bell type cut out of Carney. It stresses this defense, the patience you have to play with after the snap.
And they're giving the ball a second straight time. Why not? Right up the middle into BC territory. With under 5 to go in the third quarter, a very big game on both sides. This ACC conference has been a little wild in the first couple weeks of the year. Hartman's going to run it. That hole closed up quickly. I think he thought he had a running lane. Instead, it's going to be third down and about 5. But especially in the Atlantic, Wake Forest and BC both feel like they can be the team to challenge. We know there's a power on this side of the ACC, and that's Clemson. But I think these two teams feel like they can be the team in this division to challenge the Tigers. Handoff on third down. And Carney got close, but he was definitely stopped short, at least a yard, maybe 2. So Dave Clausen has another decision to make here. He went for it on fourth down in the first half, and it paid off. And you can read his lips. Go for it. They're going for it. 4th and a yard and a half.
Are we going to find Greg Dortch somewhere inside?
Instead, it's like an option play, and Hartman with a good decision to keep it for the first down. That's a wrinkle. I don't think we've seen that tonight.
I love that call out of their offensive coordinator, Warren Ruggiero, because he gets 5 guys across the front. It's only a one-man read.
On first down, Carney, another one of those cuts. Got a couple yards inside the Eagles' 40, down to the 39. Neither team tonight, and I think the wind is definitely a factor in this, but neither team is eager to kick long field goals. So this is not field goal range, really not yet close. Hartman kept it, and you can see the deception there. Connor Strahan, who's a really good player, went after the back first, then had the wherewithal to tackle Hartman.
Well, we keep talking about tempo. What's hard is they play so fast before the snap and then force you to play slow after it.
Another third down, 3rd and 4, probably 4-down territory. Patient cut. Carney leaned ahead, and I think he got there. It always depends on the spot, but I think he got it. And yes, he did. First down, Wake Forest. This will be the 68th play that the Demon Deacons have run in this game. Hartman, nice positive gain on first down. We're not yet through the third quarter. So you do start to wonder about the legs of the BC defenders, who haven't played a lot of football yet this year. 11th play of the drive here. Carney, that running game is starting to be very productive.
And there's a different conditioning. You can run sprints all you want, but football shape is just different. And if you're looking at some of these BC defenders, Zach Allen, an All-American, hands on his hip, they're sucking some wind right now.
And this quick tempo, it becomes such a challenge for a defense in a spot like this. Play fake. Hartman on the move, throws, and he's got his man Dortch, who couldn't quite squirt away. Just the second catch for the star sophomore Greg Dortch. Inside the 10, though, and Wake Forest is not going to slow down.
Their BC is reeling on defense right now from this tempo and execution out of Wake.
So Hartman, little fake handoff, incomplete, knocked away. Waydale Jones, the intended target on the slant in the end zone, 3rd down. Man, Zach Allen is gassed.
I would be too. This is probably 10, 11 plays in 2 or 3 minutes getting run right at him.
This will be the 14th play of this drive. A pitch late. Hartman took the hit. Carney tried to deliver the hit, but got stopped, and Hartman is going to be very slow to get up. Ouch.
And a defense that's getting pushed around a little bit. Their All-American safety, Lucas Dennis, comes up and make a beautiful open field tackle, and Hartman feeling a little bit.
Wow, and they're going for it on 4th and 2, and Hartman, he is feeling it. You wonder whether they might need a timeout to let him catch his breath. At least they'll give him a few seconds. They've been very bold on these 4th downs. They're 2 for 2 so far in this game. This is a huge play near the end of the third quarter. Pressure comes, picked up. The fade is caught, no, incomplete. Intended for Dortch and knocked away at the last moment. Tajamir Torres with an excellent play on the ball. BC takes over.
They get the exact play you want for the coverage BC's playing. BC's in an all-out blitz, zero coverage, the inside fade from the slot. Dortch with a stick step to get open. Beautifully thrown ball.
Wow,
And
he should have caught it, don't you think?
No doubt, but credit Taj Amir Torres for finishing through that football play.
That was it was a good play by Torres. That was a terrific pass by Hartman.
We've seen some drops tonight out of the Wake guys. You got to help your freshman quarterback out.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the strength of their team, their wide receiver core. Handoff, AJ Dillon. BC could do well to keep the ball for a little while and give their defense a rest. They are going to get the rest in between the third and fourth quarters. Hartman could barely get off the field. I mean, I give him credit for delivering the ball. He was hurting after the hit on third down. They went for it on fourth down, and he put the ball where it needed to be.
And that's one of the things playing quarterback in this system is you are asked to run the football a little bit. You're going to take some shots. And I'd love to see the Wake veterans make some plays for the young quarterback on the outside.
So they didn't take the 3 points. They went for it on fourth down. That means they trail by. We are okay for tonight. Boston College and Wake Forest 28-24. AJ Dillon, the star, back for BC. Finally some running room. Gets 9 yards on first down. First play of the fourth quarter. Eagles have the ball, leading by 4. AJ Dillon had the run on the first drive. Third play for BC that went almost 50 yards for a touchdown. Second half, he's got 23 total yards. But the Eagles have found a way to move the ball through the air. Dillon gets another carry. First down, BC. Out to the 20.
Man, when he gets that ball going downhill, he hits that line of scrimmage quick. It's almost impossible to stop him on a 3rd and 1.
But it just feels like such a big 15 minutes for both these programs. They both, each 2-0. They haven't played real strong schedules at the start of the year. They have big aspirations this year. And I think both of them feel like this is a major swing game. First conference game on both sides. Dillon broke a tackle, jumped over another would-be tackler, and gets almost another first down, another 9 yards for the sophomore AJ Dillon.
There's just one of those arm tackles that Wake Forest talked about, saying we can't plan on tackling AJ Dillon that way. What we're going to get out of BC right here, this drive is a little old school football. I would expect a heavy dose of AJ Dillon for the next 15 minutes.
For, among other reasons, they need their defense to get a blow. Play fake, and a wide open receiver. Smith caught inside Wake territory. Off to the races, and they can't catch him. Touchdown, Eagles. The play action works again at the speed of the senior Jeff Smith. 71 yards.
We're going to watch Jeff Smith on this motion with speed come here, and then he's just going to hit the corner. There's going to be a play action pass, and there's no stopping on his route. It is full speed, head of steam down the field. And there it is again for Boston College. Run, 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 play action.
We give Demetrius Kemp credit. He tried, but he's a linebacker. He is not going to catch Jeff Smith. Tessitore with the extra point try. It is no good. And I don't know if something happened with the snap or the hold. He kicked it right into the line. And that will long touchdown catch and run. The extra point was not made, though, by BC, so it's a 10-point game. Wake will return the kick. Greg George trying to bounce it to the outside. Little dead leg kind of move outside the 25. Takes a hit at the end of the play. And again, no flag thrown. That was borderline. Right on the Wake Forest bench. Demon Deacons offense will come out. Down by 10, 13-22 to go. What do you think? Is this a late hit?
I mean, it's a little bit of acting by Dortch.
Good no call.
I appreciate the effort.
Good no call. From up here, it looked like a hit. That was a flop. Sam Hartman and the offense back on the field. Hartman going deep down the middle, incomplete. intended for Surratt.
Gentlemen, BC needed that last quarter break and the touchdown drive. Their defense was toast the last time Wake had the ball. 15 plays, around 20 seconds per play. They have the depth, but Wake's tempo you can't sub. The first 2 weeks of the season did not prepare them for this moment.
That's a good point. The run game was a big part of that last drive, which makes it so disappointing. Wake Forest went 15 plays, almost 90 yards, and got 0 points out of it. Now they face a third down right away. If you want to keep that fatigue a factor, this becomes a very big play. And I think BC got a timeout. They did. In the Pac-12 with Washington and Utah, TCU, Ohio State, and others in the middle of that. Big play here for Wake Forest. Under 13 minutes to go, 3rd and 6. Pressure picked up. That throw is caught for a first down outside the 45, and a penalty flag thrown at the end of the play. Maybe a face mask on Connor Strahan. So that could be some extra yardage on top of a big gain of 17.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 14. Defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, BC is going to bring a cornerback blitz right here and another guy off the edge. How about the job by the tailback picking up the corner, allowing Hartman to sit in that pocket and drive the ball downfield.
He had 2 guys open in the same spot. Decided to go to number 3, Greg Dortch, who's had a relatively quiet game. On first down, Colburn straight ahead running. A nice positive gain inside the 35. Wake Forest went for it on 4th and goal. Did not take points on a short field goal last time they had the ball. 270 rush yards for the Demon Deacons. Play fake here, and that pass is incomplete. I think the throw was sort of interrupted in the backfield. Hartman was being harassed. It's 3rd down.
Good pressure by Max Richardson to kind of force that missed throw by Hartman. But right now, if you're him, you're thinking 4-down territory.
Ball gets snapped. Another handoff. Colburn cuts ahead. Stops short. Well, I certainly think you're right. Wake Forest will be going for it here. It's going to be 4th down and 3. Maybe Sam Hartman. He's had some keepers, some option type plays on plays like this. Not this time. He's throwing it, and he's got his man. Complete, first down. Dortch not going out of bounds. Cut it inside. Well, no, they're going to spot him back, I think. There was a little confusion with the linesman. He is inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal.
I'm telling you, that speed to get into the line of scrimmage forced BC to play a little vanilla off coverage, easy completion.
And they do it here. Play fake, slant, incomplete. And a penalty flag thrown. Brandon Sebastian on the coverage, intended for Steve Claude. A lot of zip on that throw. Big call instead of 2nd and goal from the 9. BC arguing that the ball was tipped.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference. 2nd down.
So I guess it was by Zach Allen. And he zipped that in there with so much force, it's almost hard to believe that Allen got a finger on the ball, but he did. It's a big play, 2nd and goal. Handoff, Colburn straight ahead inside the 5. The way that Dave Clausen has played it tonight, I mean, it feels like they'll be going for it again, but you're down 10 points. A field goal would be valuable. 3rd and goal. Pressure picked up. Hartman going backwards. Keeps the play alive and throws it incomplete. Man, they brought everybody. Hartman kept the play alive. A helmet came flying off.
He got away with one there because his sack is huge. Athletic enough to make that miss. Good throwaway, and if you're Dave Clausen, you've got to kick this field goal and make this a 1-possession ball game. You can't have another drive that you've gone down the field result in no points.
So even though he avoided the sack, they're still not going to go for it. 4th and goal. It'll be Skiba, the true freshman, from 23 yards out. Wind shouldn't be too much of a factor. Whipping around just a little bit. Good hold, and that kick is right down the middle. So Skiba executes. Wake Forest cashes in another long drive for 3. They're down a touchdown to BC with 11-13. If you got a couple quick keys for that matchup yourself?
I had TCU last week. You know, neither of those teams have really been tested. What Gary Patterson could do on defense against Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State's hot quarterback.
Meanwhile, Anthony Brown has been tested tonight. He's passed the test, hasn't he?
He's been really impressive in answering the bell in the play-action game. Jeff Smith downfield making a nice catch, and then a double move to Kobe White. Another contested catch downfield, the play action, allowing this offensive line to give him time in the pocket. Body control by Tommy Sweeney, and then again, Jeff Smith with full speed ahead down the field. Really impressed with Scott Leffler, his offensive coordinator, dialing up those plays, and then him cashing in.
Look at the play action success. Pitch play to AJ Dillon. BC, despite all of that, just a touchdown lead. Dillon along the sideline, lowers the boom. Gets knocked out of bounds outside the 45. Another long run for AJ Dillon, who's approaching 200 yards on the game. 21 on that carry. And the officials stop play. We got an injured Demon Deacon. Done a good job against him, but he is so explosive, so powerful. You figure he's getting the rock a lot in the final 10 minutes plus. He gets it here on first down. Just has to lean ahead to get 3 yards.
He's just such a big body, and he's quietly had almost 180 yards tonight. And give Wake credit, they have done a pretty good job. It's just some of those chunk runs have really hurt them.
2nd and 7, play fake. They'll give it to Smith, who gets a block and gets the first down. Inside Wake Forest territory, nice game. Jeff Smith is having a heck of a night.
And there's Boston College offensive coordinator Scott Leffler, a guy that I actually had as a quarterback coach during some of my time in the NFL. Very smart, and he's been impressive tonight with a lot of the play calls they had, understanding the talent, the skill that they have, how they utilize it, and I love how he's slowing tempo down here just a little bit.
Up by a touchdown. Dillon driving Wake Forest defenders ahead, but finally gets driven backwards.
You know, Dan, you mentioned BC known for the big, burly offensive linemen in the run game, but make no mistake about it. I've watched this team the last year and a half now. They have dudes on the outside, guys like Jeff Smith, who just checked back in, the jet sweep guys, and Steve Adazio makes no bones about it. He thinks this is his most athletic team.
Smith has 42 yards rushing on 3 carries, 145 yards receiving, plus 2 touchdowns. Another play fake. Brown deep middle, intended for Smith. It is incomplete, and no flag thrown. There wasn't a real play on the ball by Cam Glenn. And maybe a little contact, but no penalty. It's 3rd and 8.
And it's really that speed that we've talked about and Clark just mentioned down the field. Almost a catch of the year by Jeff Smith. Cameron Glenn just getting in position for a pass breakup. And that's how his team's a little bit different than a BC team of old. The vertical speed down the field.
And maybe Cam Glenn slowed up just enough to avoid contact and get the penalty flag thrown. It's 3rd and 9. Brown, short drop this time. Again going over the top. It is caught inside the 5 and touchdown. Ben glides. What a throw and catch. 40 yards. The 5th touchdown pass of the night for the quarterback, Anthony Brown. Coverage was good. Not good enough. Wake fans know that that was a huge one with only 8:48 to go.
It's really an example of a play caller saying, let's go win the ball game. Take a shot on 3rd and long.
Well, one of these already has been blocked in this game, and this is another important one, this time up and through for the extra point.
It's just man-to-man. And Jasir Taylor is in good coverage. And what happens is Ben Glines just makes a better adjustment to the ball. They're even right there, and Glines expecting that ball to come, having a little relationship and rapport with Anthony Brown. Nice job by Brown of holding the safety in the middle of the field for just a second. And what we've seen tonight, BC's receivers downfield have made plays for their quarterback. We haven't seen Wake's do it for their young freshman quarterback in Sam Hartman. Anthony Brown knows that.
I mean, I do agree. That has been a big difference in this game. And if you said coming in who has the advantage at the wide receiver spot, and this isn't a knock on BC, I think Paul was right. They have speed, they have athleticism, but Wake Forest believes they've got as good a wide receiver core as anybody in the ACC. And they have not quite played to that level tonight. A few plays left out there. BC's wideouts have.
And they probably have a case, right? I mean, Wake Forest's receiving group is very good. With that said, Boston College's kids have made play after play down the field.
This one's going to be returned, not by George. They've done some movement back deep to try to get George the ball. Not this time. Good coverage from the Eagles special teams. Well, Saturday Night Football, we talked about this one, presented by Wells Fargo on ABC, and it is a good one from Arlington, the home of the Cowboys, Jerry's World. They call it the Buckeyes in TCU territory. Not quite a true home game for the Horned Frogs. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. It'll stream live on the ESPN app. First time those teams played in 45 years.
We've had the chance to see Zach Allen, the D-end of Boston College tonight. Ohio State's got a kid named Nick Bosa. He's a dynamic D-end, but TCU's quarterback, Sean Robinson, could be a difference maker.
Swing pass on first down, Wake Forest. They are used to going fast. They have to go fast now, down 2 touchdowns with 8.5 minutes to go. For them, still plenty of time in this game.
And the tempo surely helped them, but you're probably going to have to air it out a little bit more.
Handed off to Cade Carney. That's a first down, so you stop the clock momentarily to get things set. And that typically gives the Wake Forest offense enough time to get organized and basically get the ball snapped without much time ticking off.
And the goal for Wake Forest right now, get this to a 1-possession game around 5 minutes. And then you've got a chance to get a stop on defense.
All right, we'll roll the clock and play ball on 1st and 10. Hartman is going to chuck it deep into double coverage, and Dortch goes up. Can't quite catch it. Good effort by Greg Dortch, who's only 5'9". I
mean, he's only 5'9", but watch him elevate right there and hang in the air and almost make that play. And there's Taj Amir Torres again with a nice play, getting his hand in there.
He's played a good game. Hartman uses the block and keeps it. Can't quite squirt free. Gets close to midfield. 3rd down. Clock continues to wind. Sam Hartman, the true freshman, has taken some licks in this game. They will have a little more quarterback depth next week. Notre Dame comes to Winston-Salem in week 4 for the Demon Deacons, and Kendall Hinton will be eligible. A little hesitation move and a nice run for another Wake Forest first down. Kendall Hinton was the presumed starter coming into this year, and in the offseason, violation of team rules. Not any sort of conference sanction or NCAA sanction. Wake Forest suspended him for the first 3 games of this year. Gave Hartman the chance to win the job in camp. He did. We'll see what happens. He finally saw the rush coming from Wyatt Ray. I thought that might have a chance to be a strip sack. It's just a sack and a loss of 7.
And if you're Wake and Dave Clawson, I think in the first 3 weeks, Sam Hartman's proven this is my job.
My sense is he's not giving up. That one is incomplete. Clock stops, 6:47 to go. It's 3rd and 17. I mean, it'll be interesting. Wake didn't want to talk about it. Kendall Hinton is also a guy, he's such a good athlete that he can play wide receiver. He can be a return. You can get him on the field without him playing quarterback. But my guess is this is Hartman's job. On 3rd and very long, they hand the ball off. Maybe just trying to get closer and set up a 4th down where they can go for it. That did not happen.
If you hand it off and get 8 yards, which is a great run, it's still going to be 4th and 10. And looks like they're going to choose to punt.
Well, with 6.5 to go, There's still enough time where you can use your timeouts, get a stop, and then try to play hurry-up offense.
Here's the thing. Boston College is a dominant run team. I don't know if you bank on your defense being able to stop AJ Dillon in this moment.
Maggio, a high punt. It's going to bounce inside the 10. It'll be down at the 9. So last chance really for the Demon Deacons. They need to stop, and they need it in a hurry with under 6 to go. Boston timeouts. AJ Dillon and company are going to try to put the game away right here with Anthony Brown, who in a lot of ways he's been the star for BC. His ability to beat the Demon Deacons through the air. Probably not a lot of that coming here. Dillon will be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. No timeout for Wake Forest, so the clock winds. The big play, especially through the air, that first run on the first drive. Since then, they've stopped Dillon for the most part, and they forced BC to pass, and Anthony Brown has been up to the task.
Hats off to him. He really has. That's exactly, he has been the difference in this ball game. We talked a ton about AJ Dillon, rightfully so, but when Anthony Brown was asked to make plays, he did every single time.
Some of them have been fairly easy throws. Some of them have not been. They load up. Dillon trying to bounce it. And he's got one man to beat. The defender got a little help there for the tackle after a short gain. And now Wake will use one of those timeouts. It's third down. 4:59 on the clock here in the fourth quarter. 2-touchdown lead for the Eagles. Now college football primetime presented by Hampton Inn on Saturday night on ESPN. Nick Saban and Alabama on the road in Oxford, where with the lights on it'll be rocking. Ole Miss, are they up to the task? I don't know. They have firepower on offense. They haven't shown much defense yet. That game 7 Eastern right here on ESPN, streaming live on the ESPN app. Ole Miss, I think you can make a pretty good argument since Saban's been at Alabama. They have been the toughest opponent for the Crimson Tide in the SEC. They beat them in 2014. They beat them in 2015. We're saying toughest opponent. They beat them twice.
They've got weapons, though. I mean, AJ Brown, their receiver, is as good a receiver in college football. And like I mentioned, Jordan, for everything that Tua Tagovailoa has done at Bama, Jordan Ta'amu is equally as impressive.
So out of the timeout, I formation. Does BC dare throw the ball? I wouldn't think so. Dillon's going to get the carry. Tried to spin away, gets stopped short. So he's stopped. And Wake will use another one of those timeouts. It's smart time management because it doesn't matter when you use them. You're saving the full 40. Dillon's hurting a little bit. Hopefully that's not serious.
Heavy load tonight, probably 35, 36 carries for AJ Dillon.
33 to be specific. That punt, that is returnable. Dortch, this would be big if he could get some yardage here. He went backwards at first. He's got speed, but he couldn't get to the corner. Good coverage from BC.
You know, pregame I had a chance to speak with Dave Clawson, the head coach of Wake Forest, and I asked him what his plans were for the next few days with this storm coming. And Wake Forest in Winston-Salem certainly will get at the very least a decent amount of rainfall and some big-time winds. He said they weren't planning on practice until Sunday regardless because of the Thursday night game, but they'll make the adjustments. They'll talk amongst their staff and their players and be nimble if anything needs to happen.
The classes are going to be held here tomorrow, and it probably will start raining sometime tomorrow. We're 200 miles away from the coast, and we certainly are thinking about all those folks in eastern North Carolina, in South Carolina, along the Atlantic coast, because we're happy we've had a football game. It's been a fun game, and we're glad that it was played, but we also realize that Hurricane Florence is starting to hit, and we understand the winds have really started to batter the coast here in North Carolina. 100-mile-an-hour winds or so. Sam Hartman takes a big hit at the end of that completion. Clock stops. Now starts again after the first down. Wake Forest has to hurry. They need a touchdown, and they need to get it quickly. Hartman dancing around, and he can't take a sack. He does. Wyatt Ray gets him to the ground. He's had a nice game rushing the passer.
They love him opposite Zach Allen because of the physical talent. He's got the opportunity to be an elite player for them.
It's his third sack of the game. Hartman throws, and that one is caught. A nice effort to get the foot down. Dortch then goes out of bounds. Third down coming up. Obviously 4 down territory from here on out for the rest of this game for Wake Forest. Ray comes again, and he gets another one. Just blew right by the right tackle, and Wyatt Ray has a 4-sack game. That was no contest.
It's just speed off the edge. Swipe the hands away, get home on the quarterback. And he's got that skill level, that talent level for that speed rush around the tackle.
So it's 4th down and long. Wake Forest has to convert here. There was a flag thrown. That might have been an offsides. Hartman dancing around, looking downfield. He basically has a free play. That one is caught along the sideline, and that should be good enough for a first down. We'll see what the penalty is.
Offside. Number 2, defense. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
Say what you want about Sam Hartman. He's winning his teammates over again tonight, making some plays. Surratt does a great job. Scramble rules and coming back to give his quarterback an option.
That throw across the middle, nobody there. He takes another hit. The true freshman is going to be feeling it after this game. He has taken a pounding.
He keeps getting up, and if you're Wake and some veterans on their team and Dave Clawson, you have to love what you've seen on him. Toughness.
Handoff. Well, I mean, that gets some positive yards, but the clock is not the friend of Wake Forest right now. 3rd down. Maybe a play just to give the quarterback a moment to get himself back together. Hartman throws on another nice delivery for another first down. So I say first down, that's short. They got to get this one now. It's 4th down coming up.
If you're Wake, you run the ball here. You probably run the ball, get a yard, have a plan for first down.
It's a long yard, and they're going to take time to get an adjustment along the sideline. And precious seconds are ticking away. At this point, it might not matter that much. At this point, you might need a touchdown and an onside kick. That throw is completed, and with the big hit hanging on, Dortch for a Wake Forest first down. If you scored in like a minute, maybe with the one timeout, you could have kicked it off. Dortch is hurting. He does not want to come out of the game. They have run, look at that number, 101 plays Wake Forest has. Hartman in scramble mode again. Throws, it is incomplete, out of bounds. Dortch, nice effort. I think he's cramping up. The 102 plays have gotten to him.
As much of it is a difficulty for BC and their defense to defend 102 plays, it's a lot to ask for your offensive guys too. That's a close one on the sideline right there. I want to know if he stepped out of bounds just before the catch.
So that was a good call, I think, by that official. Dave Clawson didn't think so, but he may not have seen the first part of that play. It's taken them 11 plays to go 39 yards. Now they're going to at least take a look upstairs, but I understand why Wake Forest
on the previous play of an incomplete pass is under further review.
Why they want him to take a look. But I think the call was the correct one.
Absolutely. It's pretty clear that Dortch touches out of bounds before he secures this catch. Hartman again running around, trying to be as creative as possible. And you see that left foot and that right foot slide out of bounds beforehand. But this is actually a good thing for Wakes as an offense. We'll see it again. He's out of bounds. So that call is going to stand. It's an incompletion. But this is a good thing for Wake's offense because now they get to regroup. At some point, this ball is going to have to get pushed into the end zone for the sake of the score and time. So what are our 2 or 3 best plays that can get us a 15 or so yard chunk into the end zone?
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver is out of bounds when he caught the ball.
So now Wake on second down, not quite second and goal, but the point is they got to get in the end zone as fast as possible. But first things first, the first step is to actually get there. Hartman will throw that one away.
And again here, third down. You're running your offense here because it's third down, trying to get something to give yourself a chance for a short fourth down conversion if necessary.
Yeah, they actually hand the ball off straight ahead and get close down to the 5, stopped a couple yards short. So once again, the game is on the line here for Wake Forest. They at least have some options here on 4th and 2. They fake it to Dortch. Hartman throws middle and through traffic completes it for the touchdown. That was a heck of a throw. Jack Fruchthal, the tight end. BC's going to have to sweat out the last minute 33.
Get Dortch moving a little bit, get the pocket moved for Hartman. You talk about tight windows. This kid has not given up. And Fruchthal with a tough catch in the end zone, and Wake still in this ball game.
Because it took as long as it did, 1:33 on the clock, only one timeout. Essentially, you're going to have to get the onside kick. That kick is up and good, so that's big. That cuts it to a 7-point lead. If you had all 3 timeouts, the situation might be a little different. Here, you got to come up with your best special teams play, and special teams has not been the star for Boston College in this game tonight.
This is one of those moments, do you have one of those unique onside kicks, whether you trick them, you go one way, you kick it back the other way? Because if you're Wake Forest, you feel pretty good. If you get this onside kick, that you're confident you can go tie this ball game with the creativity out of your quarterback. And they've got some size. Waydale Jones is a 6'5" receiver. Surratt is almost 6'3".
And I will say this, they've got several different place kicking options, but Darren Ford is going to be the guy so he must be the onside kick specialist for Wake. So let's see how much he's been working on this. What the Demon Deacons have for you on special teams. Get the artificial turf, sometimes that helps for a big bounce. So Ford, here it comes, big hop and taken by BC. Nice aggressive play in special teams that basically should win this game for Steve Adazio's team. Kobe White, the wide receiver, good job by him.
I love how he attacked the ball. You know, on these onside kicks for those guys who are going to be the receivers of it, essentially. Go get the football. Beautiful job by Kobe White right there.
So 131, BC is going to get into the kneel down formation, presumably. You do have AJ Dillon as the tailback. Maybe you take a couple seconds off. I'm guessing that Wake will use their timeout. Brown, yeah, he's just going to go down. And Wake does call timeout. 1:27 on the clock. And again, we just want to say good job by everyone here in Winston-Salem, a long way from the coast to get this game in. We moved it up 2 hours. Both teams agreed to that. Helped get Boston College back home before the brunt of the storm comes inland to North Carolina. And while we're enjoying college football here, we know that the folks in eastern North Carolina and South Carolina, all up and down the coast, are not enjoying tonight. And we just can't emphasize enough how much we're thinking about them and hoping that everybody makes it through okay.
sounds like everyone on the coast is doing a good job of getting out, right? Evacuating, don't mess with that weather. Nothing is more important than being safe.
And for the people here, a night of college football, and they've got to get ready. I mean, they're saying that it could be 10 inches of rain here in Winston-Salem over the next couple days. And that is enough to cause some serious problems even this far inland. So even for folks here, take care this weekend. A couple extra seconds. Brown dancing around, now goes down. Smart play. Oh, Boston College tested for the first time, and they really were tested tonight, but they will stay undefeated, barring just a total disaster, at Purdue in week 4. Now, that's a pretty interesting game. Purdue's been disappointing, but Purdue has some talent. That won't be easy, a second straight road game. Then you get home for a Temple team that's struggling and get into the meat of the ACC season, and it looks to me like, based on that schedule, they have a team that can challenge Clemson in the Atlantic Division.
That back end of October, Miami, VTech, Clemson, 3 weeks in a row or 3 out of 4 weeks is going to be a test. But, you know, the folks in North Carolina with this storm, you got to give credit to, hopefully they'll take something from this Wake Forest team and how they've fought tonight, not quit. Because there's going to be some people who are going to have to hang in there with this storm, lean on this football team a little bit.
Oh, those last few moments were well managed by BC, just making sure to take enough time off the clock that will be the final play. You know, Steve Adazio, Dave Clausen, they have had some good ones here in the ACC the last few years. Always feels like a swing game in this conference, and this year, 2018, it goes to the road team. The Eagles, 41-34 will be the final score as the last couple seconds tick off the clock, and who knows? You know, it's been a while since